Welcome back. I'm Kim Bailey. I'm here today to talk to you about using chicken wire in your designs as a structural element. Now, a lot of us will have been exposed to using chicken wire in containers as opposed to using floral foam, and it certainly was the preferred choice for a long time before floral foam was introduced, and I think for many of us going back to a more sustainable way of enjoying our passion for floral art, we're looking at other ways that we can secure our plant material in designs other than using floral foam. Chicken wire, for this particular design, it's called, the title is Fascinating Forms. I can only use Australian native plant material in this design. So what I want to do is showcase the particular forms that are available in one kind of plant material. So I've chosen Banksias. That's what they look like, for those of you who don't know them. There are a number of different types of Banksias, and so I will feature a few different types of Banksias. But what I need to do is incorporate perhaps one other type of plant material. Now, the tendency when we first start competing is to show how we can do everything and how we can use everything. And as time goes on, you will start to get comfortable with certain plant material and working with certain plant material. And for me, that is Australian natives. I just see more art in them than I do in traditional plant materials. The structure itself needs some sort of support, and we have a wonderful range of plant material that is native to this country that does provide structural support for all sorts of things. And so what I'm going to do is, this is a leftover from another competition, but this is Gymea Lilly. Only grows in a couple of places in this country. It is incredibly strong. I don't know if you can see the ends of it, how fibrous it is. And it's a bit like, I guess that the closest is, if you would think of a solid bamboo, it's reasonably light when it's dry. This is dried, the stalk. The flower spike can grow up to 4 or 5 metres tall. So there's plenty of stalk material to use once you've got them cut down. They are very hard to cut through, so I will go away and cut them up with a saw. And I'm going to use that as support material for the chicken wire. So let's go back to the chicken wire, because you'll see the finished result. So with what I've done with the chicken wire, because I want a spiral shape, and I'm going to fill the inside with some of the spent Banksia cones and have the others just open through. The beauty of chicken wire is that it's so much easier to secure your plant material, particularly if it doesn't need a water source, as these ones don't need. But if it did need a water source, you can actually just stick the vials through, and for the most part, if you've got the lip on the vial, they'll hold in place, or you can juggle it so they're actually held in 2 or 3 places by the chicken wire itself. You could fill it with moss, and then you've got a water source for the plant material that requires it. But the chicken wire, first of all, just cut it into a long strip, and so I had to join a few strips together. Folded it over itself, and there's lots of tutorials out there about using chicken wire and what to do with chicken wire, but because you get little ends where you cut it, that's the best thing. And you just, with strong fingers or with gloves on, you just fold it into itself. So fold them over so that wire is actually holding it in place. And just do that all along. You don't have to do it for every single one, but certainly every 2 or 3 I will do it, just to make sure that it's completely secure. And when you are folding it, make sure you fold the wires in. Sometimes you'll get a 2-pronged wire. Let me see if I can find one for you. No, they're all the twists. Okay, where you can see it. So with that, I would just fold it straight in. But what you could do is alternate, so fold one in and one up under the wire, just so that you're getting a good solid join all the way along, particularly if you're going to put moss in it. If you were worried about it, if you're perhaps doing a smaller section and you wanted a really good knit, you could just use your bind wire or some decorative wire if you wanted it to be a feature, and just essentially just sew it together. And that's what I've done where I've joined the pieces together. So when I've got to 2 ends, I've just tied off some, this is fencing wire, naturally enough, and because it's nice and thin and pliable, and I've got good access to it here, at the foam, just essentially just sewn it through, just using the wire to join those two pieces together, and the same in that area there. You can see it's a bit shinier than the rest of the chicken wire, but that will oxidise after a while, so it will go the same colour, but not that will be detrimental because it will be covered up in this particular design. Then once you've got the length that you want, in this case the spiral, then it's just a matter of a couple I've missed there. It's nice and strong, but it's pliable as well. So and you just got to work it hard. Just don't be gentle with it. And what I've just got to do is make a whole lot of circles. Squeeze it a bit as I go, so I get a reasonably good cylinder, because that's the bit I want to fill in at a later point. And you'll know if you haven't put all of the ends in, because they'll catch you when you least expect it. So I'm making quite a tight spiral at this point because I can stretch it out later. Now it obviously won't stay in that spiral, but it'll stay reasonably in the spiral. Now if I wanted to, I could bind it with some string or something and just hold it in that shape until I was ready to use it, and then it would get some sort of memory in it and it wouldn't be quite as difficult. But you can see on the board down here that I've got more or less the spiral shapes that I want to use, and that the board will fit into the size that I am required to maintain for the design. So what will happen, and you'll see it at some later point, is the spiral will cover those two areas. It will give me some height, and I'll be able to display the plant material pretty effectively in that shape with the Gymea stalks to hold it. But essentially today I just wanted to show you how to do some shapes in the chicken wire. There's other methods that you can do where you actually put your plant material in and flatten it out and you can get flat shapes, but for this particular design I need it to be hollow so I can fill the spiral with some plant material as well as have it hanging out over the edges. So there we go, working with chicken wire for structures in your floral designs. I'll see you again next time.